4-0 sweep with the complimentary play since Monday after cashing in last night with Kansas City getting the job done in extra innings at Seattle. And I'll get to your Thursday complimentary play in just a moment. Over the past couple of weeks, I've had some fun here going over some historical events on given days. And let's talk about one today in music history. Perhaps none more important than today, because on this day, back in 1957, two teenagers happened to meet for the very first time in a church by the name of St. Peter's in Woolton, Liverpool. And yes, I'm talking about John and Paul, met for the very first time. John Lennon's band, the Quarrymen, playing, Paul McCartney attending St. Peter's Church that day to see that event, and Lennon, very impressed with the fact that 15-year-old Paul McCartney knew how to tune their guitars, something that Lennon's group had been paying others to do. A couple weeks later, Lennon invites Paul to join the band, and, well, you know the rest as history goes and plays out. By the way, if you ever get a chance, if you happen to be a Beatles fan, a music fan, hell, you get to go to the UK, you happen to be in London, you know it's only hour and 45, 2-hour train trip from London over to Liverpool. Great place to visit, especially, as I said, if you happen to be a Beatles fan. Three things I would highly recommend you do is going out there, and there are a number of different tours that will take you around to all the historic Beatles sites. My recommended tour, though, is the one that gets the highest rated reviews at most of your sites, TripAdvisor, etc. The Fab Four Tours. It's a taxi tour. They take you all through the different places. You'll go see Strawberry Fields, the Gates. You'll go see Penny Lane. You'll go see all the different homes, etc. You'll go see the meeting places. You'll see that church I'm talking about. You'll see right across from the church where Lennon and McCartney used to hang out in the graveyard. You'll see the tombstone where Eleanor Rigby, which really didn't influence the writing of the song. FYI, the true story there is McCartney said he got the name Eleanor from an actress, Eleanor Braun, who starred in the movie Help, and then Rigby came from a store in Bristol that he noticed with one of his girlfriends liked to shop at when he was filming was appearing in some movie or play that she was doing. Later he said subconsciously maybe Eleanor Rigby, since they used to hang out in that graveyard when they were smoking cigarettes and sunbathing, maybe subconsciously it may have affected it. Later years, then he denounced that, so who knows what the real story was. But, you'll see that, as I said, you'll see the barbershop, Penny Lane. They take you around all over that. If you ever have a question, you can always email customer service. I'll tell you exactly what tour that is. But anyway, it's called Fab Four Tours. Over at Albert Dock, there's the Beatles story, which is a really cool place. You'll see the piano John Lennon wrote Imagine from, and a lot of other cool, historical, significant Beatles artifacts and stuff. The National Trust is the group that you have to in advance pre-order your admission times and tickets to go ahead and actually tour the childhood homes of Lennon and McCartney. And then, of course, down in downtown Liverpool, you can go and see the Cavern Club, the real Cavern Club, the original Cavern Club. That's no more. But they've rebuilt a new Cavern Club, but it's still kind of cool to kind of get that perspective of what it was like. And downtown Liverpool is kind of cool too as well. The touristy part of it. There's a lot of other stuff there, but it really is too much of a tourist trap. But those are the four things that I would recommend. And again, you're only talking about a 2-hour train trip from London over to Liverpool, and it's a cool place, so I would recommend it highly. Anyway, that's what happened in terms of that. Also, in Beatles history today, Hard Day's Night, released on this day in the United Kingdom in 1964. It wasn't released in the USA until August 11th. And by the way, story goes that a United Artists executive asked the director, Richard Lester, to dub the voices of the Beatles with mid-Atlantic accents because they were very concerned. The movie production company was very concerned that Americans would not understand what they were saying. Can you imagine that? Sylvester Stallone, 71 years old today. Kevin Hart, 38 years old today. Have you ever seen the movie Wedding Ringers? Didn't do big box office numbers. Got very poorly reviewed. I think it's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. Anyway, Forrest Gump released this day in 1994, $55 million budget. Only was the #1 movie in America for 10 straight weeks. Only made $677 million worldwide. And it's a movie I've seen once, and I just couldn't bear to watch it again. Okay, we move on. Let's get to your complimentary play. I'm going to go with Boston, minus the 107 on the run line. At Tampa Bay, I know the Red Sox won last night. I know they were handcuffed and only got 3 hits in that game. But Jesus, they won the first 2 games against the Rangers handily, 7-5 in 11 innings and 11-4. And they had won 6 straight and 8 of 9 before losing last night. And in those previous 8 wins in that 9-game stretch, they had scored 67 runs. Hell, in the 6 straight wins before last night's loss, they had scored 54 runs and banged out 10 hits or more in each of those 6 straight wins. They're going with Chris Sale. Gee, what has he done for you this year, right? He's coming off a 4-hit, he worked 7 innings of 4-hit shutout ball in beating Toronto in his last start. That was on the road. Came off a very good June in which he closed with 3 very strong performances to cap a June in which he had a 2.78 earned run average. He is 10-1 in his last 12 starts. That's good enough reason for me to back Boston on the run line in this one because generally they score a lot of runs when he starts. Now, I took the Dodgers last night. I lost with a 15-time run line release on the Dodgers. Wasn't because Alex Wood did anything wrong. He pitched brilliant ball. Unfortunately, last night the Dodgers simply didn't score any runs. And that has been unlike the Dodgers, especially for them playing at home. But I'm willing to come back with the Dodgers here once more tonight on the run line where they're a $1.05 underdog laying the 1.5 runs. Because the Dodgers have taken the first 2 games in the series, and true, if you had bet them on the run line in the first 2 games, you would have lost, as I did last night, because 2 nights ago, Clayton Kershaw, 7 shutout innings, but they only won 4-3. Last night, Alex Wood, brilliant performance, but they only won 1-0. But they've won 14 of their last 15 at home. They're 35-11 at home on the season. They've won 22 of their last 26 games. And despite only scoring 5 runs total in their last 2 games, they've still scored 154 runs in their last 24 games. And the Diamondbacks, close, still doesn't count. They've lost 5 of their last 7 games. Rich Hill seemingly has put some of those blister problems that have really sidetracked what the Dodgers had expected to get from him this season in the past, because his last 3 starts have been his best 3 starts of the season. His last one, Saturday against the Padres, 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs, tied his career high with 11 strikeouts. 2 Mondays ago at home against the Angels, he lost that game, but also worked 7 innings. Gave up 4 hits, 3 runs, struck out 7 batters. Start before that at home against the Mets, 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 8 strikeouts. The thing that I notice here is in those 3 starts. 1, 5 innings, 7 innings, 7 innings. 2, the strikeouts, 8 strikeouts, 7 strikeouts, 11 strikeouts. And then the number of hits, 4 hits, 4 hits, 4 hits. That's the Rich Hill that the Dodgers went out and re-signed. That's the Rich Hill that was pitching so brilliantly for the Oakland A's that got him over to the Dodgers in the first place. And that's why I'm going to go with them tonight. I know Robbie Ray has pitched great, 1.81 earned run average in his last 8 starts, although he did have a hiccup pitching at home in his last one. I know he's pitched well in 2 starts against the Dodgers this season. I know he's got a 1.32 earned run average in his road starts this year. I know he's got a 2.32 earned run average in 5 starts lifetime at L.A. But if numbers simply dictated who's going to win and who's going to lose, they wouldn't call it gambling, would it? Right? I'm going to go with the Dodgers minus the 1.5 runs as your other complimentary play tonight. Plus, they owe me one after last night, damn it. Red Sox on the run line, Dodgers on the run line. Those are your 2 complimentary plays. I wish you well, guys. Talk to you again tomorrow when we do this one more time.